Hi, this is Anna Imagination of the Healing Garden. Day 2, the journey. So I'm doing self-reflections and just stepping back while I'm processing stuff. And I haven't been called crazy or unstable in a long time, and that one really hits home with me. I am in the process of laying out my Facebook page. The link is below if you want to take a look into Authenticity City. And I'm on MailChimp today, putting things together for the different newsletters, which is really, really nice. Really nice for a change. So I'm able to siphon and put people where I need as far as the dungeon, the healing garden, and the city itself. And by breaking things up in that manner, it allows me to really siphon and tap into whichever energy I want. And that was something I was running into with the healing garden, where the healing garden had a very particular type of energy, and the people who were there were not in the right mindset for a lot of my other facets. So this really allows me to just encompass all and map it all out beautifully. The minute I got this concept and visualized it, and that's it, it's a visualization, it's a mindset. And the mindset is such a huge part of this. It's like this, you're sitting in a physical world and you're thinking, I've got bills, I've got kids, I've got noise, and all of those things are a reality that forms a mindset. And then holistic arts comes along and tells you, reverse engineer that, just change the belief and then create a new reality. But when you've got kids screaming and dirty laundry and grocery shopping, I get it. Like, it's so hard. And one of the cheats that I used to get around that was change your environment, but not your physical environment, change your abstract environment. And that's where imagination came into place for me as a child. This is dissociation. And that's really it was a mastery of dissociation on such a level that allowed me to create whatever I needed to cope with whatever it is I needed to cope. So that when I had the two worlds, the physical world and the abstract world, and that's just it. Actors are not strangers to this world. Actors dabble in this world all the time. There are people whose mastery is the abstract world. And then there's people whose passion is linking the physical world and the abstract world. Hey, this is the fantasy that someone created. Let's create these smoke and mirror effects to bring this to life. That's the theater business. That's the Hollywood business. That's a musician's business, is taking things from point A and bringing it into the physical realm. And everything, especially for a musician, begins with the abstract. You hear the song in your head long before you put it on paper. It always starts in imagination. It always starts with imagination. And by conceptualizing a place where you can go, and I felt it all day yesterday. I wish I had done a blog reporting on day 1. I kind of did, and it's over in Shifting Perspectives, so I'll move it around. But it was, and in addition to that, I had this one guy, you know what, screw it, I want my crown. I had this one guy, he messaged me and he came in, wanted to talk philosophy. And it was the most, it was a moment in all of this where I paused my day, stepped back, and answered his question. He approached me with respect. He listened. It was the most amazing. It was this, yes, this is what I want. This is exactly it. And there's two sides of us. We all know this. There's what people see, and then there's what they don't see. And we don't get to choose what they see. We don't. If we have acne, if we're overweight, if we're tired, if we have this malformed pimple on our face, if we have a scar, a bruise, a cut, if we're in a car accident, if we have an amputation, if we ended up with disease, we don't get to choose what people see. If we don't have the ability to afford the clothes we want, if, in the case of children and teenagers, somebody else makes those decisions for us, where does that put us? All we are is book covers. And in most cases, oh, that's it. We're book covers. And in most cases, our cover was determined by an editor or a marketing campaign or an overbearing artist who was adamant on what the title of the book should be. And that's going to determine whatever they open the book and decide to read further. And in most cases, we're not representing the inside on the outside because society has told us what we have to wear on the outside. And as a result, the inside has been validated. I grew up with my inside being invalidated. My pretty fucking face has gotten more invalidation on my brain than anything. And that's it, really. It's always been my face versus my brain, my body versus my brain. People wouldn't bother looking beyond because why would they? Why do they need to? They didn't. And I need to not expect lesser minds to understand my world. I really need to not expect lesser minds to understand my concepts. I had somebody say something about me yesterday that really hit deep. And she is a narcissist, the person who said it. She is one of the most abusive persons I've ever met, and I should not let it get to me. And the only reason why it did get to me was because of the word she used. And it hit me so hard. It really hit me hard. And it's not in my realm. It's not of my realm. And that's all I need to say. It's not of my realm. And that does make me feel a million times better. It's not of my realm. Not everyone, there's going to be a lot of people who don't understand my realm, and that's okay. I'm not here for them. I'm here for the people who get it. I'm here for the people who see my realm and go, oh my God, thank you. Yes, those are my people. So those are the people who I need to focus on. And that's going to be a challenge for me for a while because I'm not used to it. And that's really it. I'm not used to having those people. And that's the very first thing I need to focus on is I no longer have to deal with or explain myself or even be understood by people who aren't even citizens of my realm. I only need to concern myself with the people who are my people. And that is why I created Authenticity City. That's why I did it. It was because I need this. These are the Queen's journals. I needed this. I really, really needed this. Oh my God, did I need this? The more it fills in, the more it all just clicks into the place, the more I go, yes, yes, this is where I've been. I grew up here when I was a child. This is where I was always living in. And I've been here my whole life. And then there was a period where in 2015, when I started therapy, the very first thing the therapist did was take this away from me. She called it dissociation. And she made it very clear that I needed to stay in the material plane. And I did, and it broke me. Ironically, my therapy is what broke me. Maybe I needed that for that time period. I don't think so. I mean, I was using it as a point of escape because my reality was that bad and I wasn't changing my reality. I was afraid to write for a very long time because I was afraid tapping into my imagination would take me back there. The difference is control. That's it really. The difference is control. I am consciously aware. I am one mind. Finally. I am very consciously aware. And an insane mind would not be able to organize this. I need to stop worrying or proving to myself that I'm sane. There is a superpower we all have, and it is our imagination. And it is the difference, it is the core of our mindset. It's really what we're doing. When we tap into mindset, we are tapping into our imagination. That's what we're doing. But we're not calling it that. Oh, calm. So I created a Facebook page for the city. And that really spanned my mind so that I can now see the 4 locations of the city. And once I was able to do that from the city aspect, I was standing in the garden and I couldn't, I felt claustrophobic. I felt, oh, I got an idea, but it doesn't fit into the garden. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do it anyway. And I couldn't quite figure out where to put it. I wasn't spanned out in perspective wide enough. So when I spanned out even further and I saw the whole city, I went, oh, well, there's Under Earth now. Now I can put my books in here. Now I can put my fantasy in here. Now I can put my field trips in here. Now Anna's Elite can go in here. There's the healing garden. There's the beacon. There's the podcast. It all just clicked right into place. And I went, I have a virtual, digital, abstract world. It doesn't have to be physical yet. It doesn't have to be physical yet. It really doesn't. It's all just virtual and abstract. And the thing is, every time we step into a world like Skyrim, you were playing within that realm. Oh, good God. Everyone plays in the world of make-believe. Everyone plays in the world of make-believe. We all started here as children. And then we were yanked out of it. And we all try and escape back here with our RPGs and our fantasy footballs and our video games and our LARPing. We're all trying to run back into the world of imagination. And I'm going, well, fuck it. I'm the queen of imagination. I'm going to build a damn city here and call it Authenticity City because it's in imagination that we are ourselves. This is really when we all start to be who we really are. That's when our true colors come out. And that's when we really step into who we are. And it's, oh my God, it feels home. It feels so fucking good to be home. And I can now literally shape this into whatever I want. And yesterday was a day of just sitting in it, relishing it, taking it all in and going, okay, what do I have before me? And I'm going, yes, I see what I have before me. I know and I understand what I have before me. I processed it. I celebrated. I spoke to friends. And I had this wonderful money breakthrough. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm going to talk about money today. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I had a wonderful conversation with the universe that went like this. What do I want? I know what I want. I want to play. I hate working. I fucking hate working. No work. There's no work here. I ban work. And she says, where do you want to be? Where? Where? That changed everything. Where do I want to be? I have a love who I never see. I have someone I love and I never see him. And I keep my schedule clear so that if he were to step out and say, come see me, I'd be available. But when I first met him, I was terrified of, I knew the schedule would be here. I knew it. I saw it. My first thought was, how am I going to balance a love with my endeavor? And I didn't know how. So I gorged myself on him. He gorged himself on me. And then we got to a point where we had to do our healing. And I watched it all fall apart, and we still remained completely just consumed by each other. And then I did nothing for a long time. I worked on myself, but I refused to see anybody. I refused to allow anyone in because I really wanted to make sure everybody had space. I wanted to make sure that I had space for him. And I watched time pass, and I never saw him. And I started filling my days. And I kept thinking, well, what if he wants? What if he needs? And now my schedule is full. And I have commitments. And there's no space for him. And I'm going, I don't know. It feels like the very thing that I was afraid of most. And people will say, well, you manifested that. Manifest space for him. That's exactly it, right? And I have fun. And then in the middle of the fun, I'm sad. I talked to him about this last night. And I don't know how to juggle this. I don't know how to balance it. And it's the one thing I just can't. It's because I was a slave and I never had to. It's something I never learned because the husband always told me what I had to do and where I had to go and where I had to be. So I wasn't allowed to do anything or have any friends or have anything because my duty was to serve him. I had to be on beck and call at all times for him. If the off chance that he wanted me, my schedule had to be cleared. And I don't know how anyone does it. I have no idea how normal people do it. So it's something I have to learn. And it's one of those things you don't learn until you do. And it's been this massive block that I've had for a very long time now where I limit myself because, yeah, that's it. I limit myself because. So talking about it helps. Talking about it always helps because it validates it. So how does an abstract city work? Well, it works much like the internet. When you create space, you have to invest a mindset into it. Now, for somebody who's the inventor of the space, having the physical space and the imaginative playground goes a long way. Much like an actor. It's exactly like acting, where you have somebody who steps in and they pretty much do what they want, go where they want, set up everything, choreograph the whole thing, lay it out, and then they perform. Like the Renaissance Fair. Exactly like the Renaissance Fair. So you can step into the Renaissance Fair, walk around, buy ye old turkey leg, and then watch some jousting. It's like that. Now, there's two aspects. There is the voyeur who walks into the festival and it feels like they've stepped into old times. They feel like they're walking through the Renaissance era. And then there is the creator who puts it on. The creator has to be in a different mindset because the creator is the one completely doling out the mindset. And for the creator, it's all in the mind. It has to be. Now, I'm there regardless. The only difference is I'm now taking it out of my mind where it's been since I was a child, since I was 4. And I'm putting out there in a way that you can walk into it, which is amazing. I did this for my sub from 2020 to 2020 to 2022. For 2 years, this is what I did for my sub. I created, well, our space, and he played in it. Oh my God, I miss him so much. And it's just like that. So I'm creating the playing field. But it's more than that. This is a society. And I said to myself yesterday, if people can create fantasy football, then why can't I create this? Authenticity city. So here's how it's going to work. There are 4 facets. There is the city itself, all of the city. Harrier. And there's a garden in the center. That's where the healing is. There's the university. I have my Philosopher's fountain. And I have my under earth. Depending upon what you desire, what you seek, what you need, you can go to any part of the city. And I have a hyperlink path to all of it. All of this is located on my Linktree account. So you go to my Linktree account and it's the directory. It's the Authenticity Cities directory. In fact, I'm going to put that in here right now because that is really, I don't want a link. I want the header. And amazing just to say it. Authenticity Cities, the directory. The directory of Authenticity City. There we go. The directory. And this is the ultimate, this is it right here. This is the thing where you walk in and it is the directory. And then it's going to lay out the areas of Authenticity City, what you can expect. There is the healing garden, and there is ways that you can contact me, and you can decide which part you want to go to. My triadic healing really needs to get cleaned up. And yeah, this is definitely, there is under earth, there is the government side, which is the Operation World Peace, Operation Imagination. There is the societal order. I love that. That sounds so everything. The societal order of authenticity. Yeah, the societal order. That's all I'm going to call it. The societal order. It sounds very, very governmenty, but the societal order. It is literally basically the rules. We have a moon calendar here. I don't go by the sun because that's illogical. So it's all the things that I put together over my years. Okay, so this is a fun fact about me. When I was a child, I had a friend, Kate. Kate is responsible for all of this. Kate's father was the director of NPR in the area where I lived. And she is the sole person responsible for giving me Monty Python. She is the one who introduced me to British humor. She's the one who made me realize that I was funny, just not in America. Seriously, up until I was 12 years old, before Kate, I had no idea. I had no idea. I'm like, I just don't find anything funny. And nothing is funny. I'm just not a funny person. And then I discovered Kate. And I went, oh, look, things are funny. And she's like, oh, no, you're very funny. You're just not funny in America. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. So I thought I had no sense of humor for the first 12 years of my life. I remember I was researching humor. I spent so much time on the psychology of humor. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? I studied Robin Williams to try and figure out what is wrong with me. Why can't I laugh? Now, he was funny. And, oh, Captain, my Captain. And I always felt like Robin Williams was always there, either making me laugh or working on something that was going to make me laugh. And when he died, it was this, he's no longer working on something that's going to make me laugh. And that was the real grief for me, was that he was no longer working on something. I love that man so much. My God, do I love that man. So I sat down, and one of the games she and I played was building a society. And we spent a year building our own society, analyzing everything wrong with the current society and what we would keep and what we would fix and what we would change. And we built a society. And then I discovered the game, The Age of Empires. All you do is build society. And you build monarch. And that's what they teach you in school is, okay, there's two types of societies. There's monarch and then there's democracy. Those are your choices. No, they're not. Why are you giving me black and white choices? No. And the problem that let's talk about the government. The problem that we have with the government from the physical realm is it's a popularity contest. And there are 8 perspectives, 12 perspectives. And only 2 of those 12 perspectives are represented. And those 2 perspectives are the stupid ones. It's the 3rd and the 4th perspective, the ones that don't value education. You get a 5th perspective every now and then. You can't get a 6th perspective. That's the Green Party, and they're just not allowing it. Obama was of the 5th perspective. He valued education. Democrats are 4th and 5th perspective. Republicans are 3rd and 4th perspective. And it's hippies are 6th perspective, 5th, 6th perspective. And that's your conservative green, or that's your Green Party. So the government is not, it's biased. It's a popularity contest because baby boomers are the highest population. They're going to vote for the Republicans. They're going to vote for the Democrats. It's not until millennials out-populize the baby boomers and the Gen X's that the Green Party conservatives are finally going to be represented because of the population. Bottom line, it's the population that matters. And that's why there's only a 2-party system. It's because the majority of people think with only 2 parts of the spectrum instead of 12. And I've always wondered, why aren't we just voting on the most educated? That seems logical, to put the most smart people in charge. Why aren't we putting the smartest people in charge? You know, the people who actually have ethics. Because the smarter you are, the more ethics you have. The less smart you are, the less ethics you have. Why aren't we doing a psychological test to make sure someone is psychologically stable? Because look at Nero and Trump. Why aren't we doing a psychological test on these people to make sure that they're not mentally ill? But okay. So the first thing I decided when I build a government is mandate that they have to be smart, really smart, and then accumulate the smartest people, and then we vote on the ethics of the smartest person. And it's not a goal of the competition. That is so, I'm closing the door on that. That is foundational stuff. I'm closing the door on that. Instead of it being competitive, it should be solution based. But our government isn't solution based, it's competition based. So my government is solution based, not competition based. Mine is not a popularity contest because I don't do that. What I do is all the smart people in the world are going to come together at a round table. Membership is $15,000 this year. Next year, it's probably going to go up to $20,000. It's probably going to cap off at $15,000 to $20,000. Here's how it works. $15,000, $20,000. You walk in, you get a place at the table. You have to be sixth perspective or higher because you need to be mentally stable and you require the first 5 ethics. If you don't even have the first 5 ethics, you don't get to make a choice on the government or the people or the city. If you lack the first 5 ethics of authenticity and humanity, you're not getting in. The first 5 ethics are not mine. They are outlined by Dr. Graves in Spiral Dynamics and Psychology, and they are well documented. Everybody has them. Everybody gets them in the precise order, no matter what. And if you don't get them, you don't evolve. You stay stuck in a foundational growth stage, which means if you're a foundational, you have the mindset of a 4-year-old child, like Trump. So, first 5 ethics are mandatory. If you have the first 5 ethics, now we can talk about government and making decisions. Now, let's talk about solutions. Here's how it works. Membership for the roundtable is $15,000. You come in, we take that money and we're going to set it aside. The Healing Garden, this section of the Healing Garden is nonprofit. We're going to be taking that money and setting it aside in a pool. At the end of 1 year, we're going to all sit around, those who are on the roundtable board who donated the $15,000, and we're going to talk about where this money is going to go. You get to, when you put in that $15,000, you get to put in which humanitarian problem you want to solve. Now, we are not going to take that money and give it to a charity. We are the charity. We are going to do it ourselves. Here's how it works. My first thing is the water problem in the West, the Hoover Dam. So that's going to be my big thing of we have a water crisis. Let's fix that. Now, the other thing that I want to do is education, triadic healing. I want to get triadic healing everywhere. So I have this tool. I'm throwing it out there saying, this is another one of my goals. So you come in, you're $15,000, you get a seat at the table, and you get to put on the ballot which topics you want to vote for. In 1 year, we all sit down and we vote. You get to decide on the voting ballot which one of these priorities gets the highest priority. The largest vote wins. All the money then goes to that cause. We put the event together, we put all the things together, and we make it done. You want the next year, it's going to be another $15,000. You get a seat at the table. Like I said, it's probably going to go up every year. And that gets you a seat at the table. And in order to qualify, you require the first bottom 5 ethics. That's it. It's that simple. It's a 3-day event in New York City where we all come together and we vote. It's also going to be synchronized with World Peace Manifestation Day. World peace is going to be a huge part of this. Education is a master section of this thing. So this is the government side of my society. This is absolutely the government side. So that is something that I'm putting together. That is something that's available. And when I was explaining it to people, people will look at me and go, why doesn't our government run like this? Foundationals. That's why. Foundationals. Because the people who built the government system had no idea how psychology works. That's why. Because the people who built the government are from the Roman Empire, because that is what we modeled our entire idea off of. Because according to the government, according to the Roman Empire, at that time there were only three options: tyrannical ruler like Genghis Khan with the biggest sword, hi Putin; the working order government, the Roman Empire; or a king or a queen, a monarch. Now, the monarchs actually came out of people like Genghis Khan. That's how monarchs came about. So really, it then narrowed it down to either your democracy, which is modeled after the second stage perspective of the Roman Empire, or the monarch. And then after a while, it divided. Now, of course, there's a few other systems, but they're pretty much the same. So here we are, and I've got the round table, and it's that concept of, yeah, I totally pulled from King Arthur. He was extraordinary. The idea of a king being equal at a round table, the idea was genius at a time. Oh my God, the concept was third, like it was in the middle of the third perspective when they wrote this. Whoever wrote the Arthurian legends was a mastermind of perspective concepts. Goddamn, it was genius, the round table. So yes, I have a round table. And if you want a seat at the round table, it's going to cost $15,000 and it goes into a pool. For an application, it's $500 for the application. And that goes towards basically working and operating the Authenticity City. So we have within the Authenticity City basically four areas. We have the education side, the government running side, the life celebration entertainment side, and the shadow self. And that's pretty much it. Oh my God, it's so wonderful to just have those four pillars. I saw the four pillars of the healing garden, and I was trying to say, these are the four pillars of the healing garden. No, Anna, the garden cannot fit four pillars. You need to take those on the outside. So there are four pillars in the city. And depending upon which of the pillars you want to focus on is totally up to you. If you want to go into the government side of it with Operation Imagination and focus on world peace, phenomenal. If you want to go into the healing side of it and look into the healing garden, and if you need your own healing, that is a phenomenal place to start. If you want to go into the play area, the playground, where you celebrate life, absolutely. And then the fourth is the shadow self. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the shadow self yet, because technically the shadow self and the playground are the same thing, but the philosopher side is in there also. So it's kind of like molding into itself, and I'll figure that out. But it's basically, there's the play side for people who like to keep things light. Yeah, that's it really. There's play side, light side, play side, dark side. There you go. That's it. So the play side has the light side and the dark side. And yeah, so there's the education, there's the government, there's the play. And that's it. And yeah, did you notice there's no such thing as work over here? Because work is slavery, and work literally translates as doing something without pleasure. Play just means doing something with pleasure. Well, this is a no-brainer. How about if we just do everything with pleasure, and we teach people how to do everything with pleasure, and you have light pleasure and dark pleasure. There, real simple. So if you can only dabble in this world, welcome. If you can come here and escape, welcome. If you're coming here to escape without changing your current situation, go into the healing garden. Go into the healing garden. Because go into the healing garden. That's a good place to start. It all starts with meditation. I do a meditation. I'm about to do it here very soon. And the meditation allows you to, basically, it's step one. It's the door. So that if you don't want to go completely into Authenticity City, you don't have to. You can just sit in the meditation space and start there. If you want to step in further, great. The meditation space is literally the welcome mat. It is a beautiful get started at the meditation space. So from the meditation space, we can go in, and then you have access from there to the garden. You have access to the rest of the city. You don't have to be at any particular stage to go anywhere. You're more than welcome to dabble and go through the whole thing. And yeah, I have live events in New York City. To get on that list is Anna's Elite. You'll find that over in the Play department. The map is my Linktree account. That's the directory. So click on my Linktree account, and that will take you to the full directory of the city. That way you can maneuver and figure it out. And I'm in the process of cleaning it up because right now it's chaotic because I'm organizing the chaos that's been in my brain since I was 4 years old. And trying to organize 40 years of concepts, imagination, and data for my 4-year-old brain that I started developing up till now has been, I've got my work cut out for me. I have a lot of people who love me. So I have a lot of filters between me and being accessible to people. If you are looking for philosophy, philosophical discussion, healing services, anything like that, there is Contact Me available through MailChimp. That is the best way to get a hold of me because the floods are starting to happen and I'm starting to put up gates to control how many people come to me because it's a lot. And it's just me. I'm a one-man show operating all of this. So I am going to be staying with my podcasts. They're phenomenal for my journals. They're phenomenal for me, walking me through this process while I'm going through this transition. Yeah, it really allows me the space I need to really sit down and process this and do what I need. And the reason why we all need time alone is because when we take time alone, we restore our authenticity and our perspective. If you are not taking time alone, then you are holding on to the perspectives of others a lot longer than you should. So make sure you take time for yourself. That way you can purify your authenticity. That way you can purify your perspective. If you love shit like this, like, subscribe, follow, share with anyone you know who can use this. Grab the Linktree account, the Linktree link below, and take a look at the directory to see everything I do and where it is you want to go. Thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.